possibly could patch 7.2 be? What could that bring? Where might we be going? Seven two is the Tomb of Sargeras. In patch 7.2, we will return to the site of our greatest failure, where Alliance and Horde faltered and broke and barely escaped with our lives, where we lost our leaders in the shadow of the Legion stronghold, and we had to retreat. But we've spent the intervening months leveling up, building class orders, recruiting champions, getting artifacts, empowering our artifacts, and it might just be a different story this time around. Where Horde and Alliance failed, the class orders will succeed. Maybe, it's up to you. All 12 classes working together constitute the armies of Legionfall. Where the Alliance and Horde can't necessarily put aside their differences, the leaders of the class orders can see that manifest destiny in front of them and understand the consequences, understand the stakes, and what they must do. And so this is the faction that you will work with, that you will be a part of, that you'll be one of the leaders of, as leader of your class order, as you make your way up the Broken Shore and fight your way to the foot of the Tomb of Sargeras. Of course, there will be all new world quests, both around the world and focused in the Broken Shore. We're incredibly happy with how the world quest system has played out so far. We want to keep doing more with it. And so we see this as really an integral part of making content going forward. When we make quests for a place, when we're telling a story in a place, we're also going to make world quests that complement that story, including things like class-themed, class-focused world quests that are set in the Broken Shore area. Now let's take a look at what the Broken Shore may look like when you return there today. So, a difficult task awaits us at the Broken Shore. So, part of accomplishing our objective, part of making our way to the tomb, is going to involve first claiming a foothold in enemy lands, and then fortifying that foothold, building it up as we strengthen our forces and get ready for that assault. In something that's reminiscent of maybe patch 2.4, Isle of Keldanos, for those who remember that, a big part of what we're going to be doing here is actually restoring and building up old elven ruins into functional structures that can serve as a staging ground as we press the assault forward. And actually, rather than just a sequence as we had it in patch 2.4, here players are going to be actively involved. They're going to have agency in choosing which buildings to build to unlock new content, new rewards, and new ways of interacting with the world. So when you choose whether you want to build or focus on the Nether Disruptor, or the Command Center, or the Mage Tower, and upgrade and fortify those structures, in the course of doing so, you'll be upgrading, or you'll be unlocking new world quests. You'll be unlocking new rewards, new vendors, new other types of content, world bosses, what have you, in a way that you, the player, control, rather than we, Blizzard, dictating, okay, this is up this day, and that's up that day. It's a much more organic way of delivering content and telling the story of the unfolding battle as you fight your way up the Broken Shore towards the tomb. Now, while that's going on at the tomb, at the Broken Shore, what's happening back in the tranquil areas of Val'Sharah, in the hills of High Mountain and Stormheim? Well, the Legion isn't taking this sitting down. The Legion is striking back. So Legion assaults are very much inspired by our pre-launch invasion event that we had in early August, right before Legion, the expansion, came out. There we were defending places like Westfall, Tanaris. This time around in 7.2, we're going to be defending the other zones of the Broken Isles, as the shadow of the Legion falls upon Val'Sharah, or upon Azsuna, or upon Stormheim. And we need to help defend our newfound allies in the Dreamweavers or the High Mountain Tauren, and fight back the Legion so that we can keep pressing our advantage on the Broken Shore. So these zones come under attack. When they do, it'll basically disable all the world quests currently active in the zone, and the skybox turns dark and terrifying. All sorts of demons pop up, Legion command ships in the skies. A very familiar scene for those of you who participated in Invasions back in August. This time around, we're wrapping it into our world quest structure. So as you arrive in the zone, you'll be completing a variety of what are essentially world quests to take down Legion lieutenants, to clear out Legion presence from fortified areas. Once you've done enough of that, and by the way, those will count towards your emissary if you have an emissary up in the zone, so don't worry about, world quests going away temporarily. Once you've done enough of that, you'll unlock a target of opportunity and be able to strike at the Legion commander on the ground leading the assault. Again, very similar stuff to what you saw back in August. But then there's one extra step beyond that. Once you fight that assault on the ground, well, there's this massive aerial presence. There's this, Legion cruiser in the skies, bombarding, beaming down troops. And you will join a 3-player scenario, very reminiscent of what we did in Mists of Pandaria, which we haven't really had a chance to revisit in a while. Role agnostic, you can jump right in, and that's where you'll take the fight up onto the Legion ship up in the skies, take that ship down, and fight them back. There's a separate set of content for each of the zones of the Broken Isles, and when you're questing on the Broken Shore and you see a demon invasion pop up, well, you better head out there, because there'll be great rewards to be won, and of course, we need to safeguard all of our lands from the Legion. So now when I say you're going to head out there, well, how are you going to do that? So, often it's been asked, well, so what's the deal with flying? What's the plan with flying? Am I going to use my Flight Master's whistle, and then go to the nearest flight point, mount up on my trusty steed, and by steed I mean water strider, and head off to the nearest invasion? Or will I soar majestically through the clouds, gazing down upon the lands of the Broken Isles? Yes, you will. So, patch 7.2 brings the second part and the conclusion of the Broken Isles Pathfinder achievement. So, this achievement basically entails the first part, which many people have worked on and already completed and earned their mount speed bonus in the outdoor world, plus doubling down on and following the philosophies that we laid out in Warlords when we announced our flying plans there. Explore the new Broken Shore area, defend the different zones from the new Legion assaults that will fall upon them, complete the main outdoor quest line associated with the Legion Fall campaign, up to opening the gates of the Tomb of Sargeras. Don't worry, you don't need to go in. There's no raid or dungeon content involved in this. It's all about outdoor world gameplay, because that's what you need to master to unlock flying. And then finally get your reputation up with the Legion Fall, the armies of Legion Fall, and you will be able to fly around the Broken Isles on your character and on all characters on your account. So, pretty awesome. I mean, flying around the Broken Isles, that's great. It's going to really change the way we play the game, and it's something we look forward to for a long time. Could there be anything cooler than flight in the Broken Isles? Well, what if you were doing it on your very own custom class mount for every one of your classes? Take a look at this.